All right, what's going on, everybody? So the NLCS is set, the ALCS is set, and I want to give you my predictions as to who's going to win and go to the World Series. Shout out to everybody in here. Now, let's start right off the bat. Okay, let's get into it. First and foremost, it's been exciting. This playoff baseball has been fantastic. Okay, every round of the playoffs has been good, and good teams, the best teams playing against each other. And I expect more good baseball. I really, really do. So with that, let's get to the first series. The Mets, New York Mets versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Okay. Now, the Dodgers beat the Padres in 5. The Mets beat the Phillies in 4. Now, the Mets have been playing inspired baseball for over a month now. One of the best teams in the second half of the season. And they've done with a lot of clutch hitting and a lot of, superior pitching. Sorry. And that's not surprising based on the guys that they brought in over the course of the year. Okay. And then when you pair it up against the Dodgers, have done it with obviously a historic season from Shohei Ohtani and that superb trio of Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman, but also a stellar year from Teoscar Hernandez, right? And good play, even despite the injuries that they've had in the starting rotation. They've had a pretty stellar bullpen, even with the additions that they've made at the trade deadline. They lost Tyler Glasnow to Clayton Kershaw, and Ohtani's not even pitching this year. So they've done this with a beefed up bullpen and a beefed up lineup. And that's what this is what it's going to boil down to. You have guys like, let's go back to the Mets here. You got Sean Manaea, Jose Quintana, Kodai Senga, Luis Severino. They're going to basically man their starting rotation, right? Kodai Senga just coming back. Maybe they'll get him for 3 or 4 innings pop. Maybe they'll see him twice. I'm not sure yet. So last time he came out, his first time, he threw 2 innings. Maybe he'll build off it and get an extra inning. This will probably be one of the first times that the Mets don't see length from a starting pitcher. Okay, because their starting pitchers have been given more length than most other teams have been giving. Okay, so and they haven't been having to use or overuse their bullpen too much, and their bullpen's been solid because of that, right? All these guys across the board, and then you have, that dynamic group of Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, even J.D. Martinez, Mark Vientos coming out of nowhere, right? Marcell Ozuna, like these guys are playing some really good baseball, right? Starling Marte, not Marcelo, Starling Marte, excuse me. And again, even though Kodai Senga is not 100%, I would expect him to get maybe 3 or 4 innings. And then transition it over to the rest of the Mets bullpen. And that's probably going to be, to me, I think, one of the only times the bullpen's going to get used quite a bit. Because look at the other situations that we've had, like Sean Manaea and Jose Quintana. These guys are not power arms, but what they've been doing is neutralizing the power bats. Look what they carved up the Phillies for the most part. And that was a series that I thought the Phillies were going to win. And they didn't. Okay? So these Final Four teams are really, really, really good for their own reasons, but they're both dangerous and really, really good teams. So that's the Mets. The Dodgers, their rotation, you got Walker Buehler, Jack Flaherty, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, right? And again, no Tyler Glasnow, no Clayton Kershaw, like some of these other guys are out. So, and no Shohei Ohtani. And that's what they're relying on, a beefed up bullpen. And the beefed up bullpen, they've been giving up no runs this postseason, but they've been used quite a bit. Can they sustain it for another round against a team that's going to be relentless, who's beat up relief pitching this whole entire last month of the season and in the postseason? That's going to be one of the major tests here, right? So, and again, you got Freddie Freeman, you got Ohtani, you got Mookie, you got Teoscar Hernandez, you got Kiki, and the lineup just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and they attack you from so many different angles. So, this is not going to be. I expect a couple of high-scoring games, a couple of good pitching matchups. But again, this is a powerhouse team, the Dodgers, who spent over $1 billion. And the Mets, who have also been a big spending team and have been a more strategic team this offseason based on the lessons that they've learned from the spending that they did the year before, right? But they still have a $300+ million payroll. So, but this team has been magical. They've been on a magical run. They've been playing very inspired baseball. They really, really have been playing very inspired baseball. And at the end of the day, I think this series is going to go probably 6 games. Yeah, I think it's going to go 6 games, maybe 7. Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to go. They're going to have to utilize all hands on deck. I think this is going to be a very, Very exciting series, a very high-powered series. Now let's move it over to the American League. Okay, you got the Cleveland Guardians, who just carved up the Detroit Tigers. They were down 2-1. They came back with two consecutive wins to eliminate them, and they beat Tarek Skubal today. So, which is crazy, but one of the good things about for the Yankees here is they don't have to face Tarek Skubal 2 to 3 times, and there's no pitcher on the Indians at the level of Tarek Skubal that the Yankees have to play multiple times or face. That doesn't mean they're not good. This team is good for lots of reasons. Okay, they have some depth in the starting rotation, have some depth in the bullpen. They've got Emmanuel Clase, one of the best pitchers in the game, right? Who's probably also going to get Cy Young votes as a freaking closer. Look at his stats; they are historic. Okay. And again, this is a high contact lineup, aggressive with speed and athleticism, clutch hitting across the board. They don't strike out a lot. They get on base. They move runs over. Things that we wish the Yankees would do on a regular basis, these guys do all the time. Okay, so this team is not going to be a cakewalk. And again, they took advantage of the opportunities that the Tigers gave them, particularly today. Okay, just like when the Royals beat us that one game, they took advantage of the opportunities we gave them. They capitalized on a lot of opportunities. I originally thought it was going to be the Tigers pulling this out, but I'm glad it's not. But that said, I'm not going to be sleeping on the Cleveland Guardians at any point in time. Okay. The other question is, well, Jose Ramirez has been hitting probably 140, something like that. Will he step up? You've got Josh Naylor, you got Stephen Kwan, you've got Lane Thomas. You've got a lot of the good hitters across the board. Lane Thomas has been clutch this postseason, so they've got plenty of ways that they can attack you, right? So that way, for that reason, I'm not sleeping on the Cleveland Guardians at all. Okay, and again, get to the bullpen. We're going to have to be relentlessly attacking the bullpen. Now let's pivot over to the Yankees. The Yankees, to me, are hitting like a step or a series behind these other teams, right? Their batting lineup is just starting to heat up again. Aaron Judge, it looks like he's turned the leaf, right? Looks like he's going to start heating up. Giancarlo Stanton should have been the player of the division series, MVP of that series with his bat. He carried the offense, okay? And Soto's been good, but we haven't seen Soto with power like we've seen all season. Will we see that version of him in this championship run? I don't know, right? And if we get guys like Anthony Volpe's been pretty solid, okay? He's been hitting better than he's been fielding. We need Austin Wells to heat up. We need Jazz Chisholm to heat up. We need someone in Alex Verdugo to continue to be consistent. At the end of the day, I think the Yankees have a more deeper lineup on paper, what are you going to call it, than the Cleveland Guardians. But they need to put it all together against the Cleveland pitching. The Cleveland pitching is not going to hand it to the Yankees, right? So now going over to the rotation, we've got Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, and Clark Schmidt, and I do think we're going to see Luis Hill this series. Okay, I do think we're going to see Luis Hill. Now we may even see Nestor Cortez. He's ramped up his pitching a second time. We might see him. They might add him to the roster, and I do think they're going to add a pitcher to the roster, at least one of them. And I think the most logical move would probably to take Ben Rice off the roster. I like Ben Rice, but we've got Oswaldo Cabrera and John Birdie holding the fort down at first base. We don't really need Ben Rice right now. As much as it'd be nice to have him, I'd rather have an extra arm. If we get Nestor Cortez or something like that here, that would be a nice little jolt in the arm, and to something that's been a Yankee strength throughout this postseason so far. They're pitching, okay. And Garrett Cole's been lights out. We'll be seeing him probably at least twice this series, so which will be good. And Clark Schmidt and Carlos Rodon most likely on the road. Actually, we might see him at home. But I think Clark Schmidt's probably going to line up to pitch first game, and maybe Cole the second. Maybe Rodon will be on the road. We'll see. We'll see what happens, right? So, and then you have the Yankees bullpen, also like the Dodgers bullpen, who's been utterly dominant. 0 runs this whole postseason. Okay, and you have, if we're getting more length from the starting pitchers that Cleveland is, and we don't really have. Well, Cleveland doesn't really have pitchers that go deep and beyond the 5th inning, or even the 4th inning. So they're going to have to tap into their bullpen more than the Yankees are going to have to tap into their bullpen. So that creates an opportunity for the Yankees to attack, right? And they're going to utilize speed, John Birdie, Duke Ellis, and some of these guys, right? And again, is Judge going to continue to heat up with Stanton, and will Soto also bring that power element because that trio is just as deadly as that Dodgers trio. And if that trio heats up, it's going to be very difficult for the Cleveland Guardians. Very, very difficult, right? So, what's going to happen here? With those ingredients, with that stuff in play, right? With that stuff in play, John the Beagle Dad, a better back. I will have a better background. I'm building a room. This is a backdrop. I'm building a room for this stuff. So, but with that said, with all these things in play, okay, this series I also think is probably going to go 5 or 6 games. I think so as well. And again, I think both of these series are going to be high-powered series. I don't know if the Mets or the Dodgers. I mean, they both had emotionally revved up in an even emotionally draining series against their last opponents here in this last round. Can they sustain it for 2 more rounds? We don't know. We have no idea. Okay, but I expect good baseball there. And Cleveland has been playing strategic baseball. The Yankees have been playing strategic baseball. We haven't had that bloodbath on the American League side yet in the playoffs. Had good hitting. We have all kinds of stuff, right? And again, I think the Yankees bats are just heating up. And I think that, if you add another arm to this Yankees pitching stable, and if we can still neutralize Jose Ramirez and hopefully Lane Thomas, then I think I think the edge go to the Yankees. But at the end of the day, okay, here's my prediction: a Subway Series. I think the Mets are going to be facing the Yankees in the World Series. I originally thought it was going to be, Dodgers Yankees, but I would have given the Dodgers the edge if they had Tyler Glasnow and they had Ohtani pitching, they had Kershaw pitching, but they don't. They don't, and I don't know how long they're going to be able to sustain all that bullpen use against a team like the Mets. I don't know. I have no idea. So for that reason, I think it's going to be Mets, and for that reason, I think it's going to be the Yankees. So I do think it's going to be a Subway Series, and it may not create as much of global appeal as the Yankees Dodgers with the Japanese contingent and all this stuff, but in terms of impact of the game, the Yankees fans need this, right? It's been 15 years since the Yankees have gotten to the World Series, even won a World Series. It's been 30 years, well, since 86, almost 40 years, since the Mets have won a World Series. So it's just as therapeutic on the Mets fan side as it is the Yankees fan side. We both need this. And again, I think it's going to wind up being Yankees Mets. I really, really do. Okay. And the Subway Series, I think, is going to be one of the most exciting things for baseball in a long time. And for New York sports, that's going to be really, really cool, I think. And I think if that happens, then there's going to be a parade in New York no matter what. I know there's a lot of talk the winner will get Soto and all this stuff. I'm not worried about that. No, I'm not really worried about that right now. I don't really care. Okay, the Yankees are doing everything they can to keep on Soto here. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be Mets, Yankees in the World Series. So give me your thoughts. I'm going to open it up to y'all here. Clase had a 6.35 ERA with 2. Yeah, he had to give up that big home run to who's a Kerry Carpenter in the 9th inning the other day, right? Yeah. Honestly, word lifer, I think the Mets are going to have a plan to attack the Dodgers bullpen because the bullpen's going to be. They're going to try to get the Mets, the Dodgers starters out of there early, and to get to that bullpen. So that bullpen's been lights out, but if they keep getting used as much as they've been deployed a lot. And I think if they keep getting deployed like that, the Mets are going to get to them. And this Mets team looks like a team that punishes bullpens and punishes tired arms, right? So, that's the way I'm seeing it. And after breaking it down like this, to me it seems more apparent to me, and you could disagree. But again, word life, I think the Mets pitching again, like I said, it's going to be their crafty pitching, like Sean Manaea and Luis Quintana, like Jose Quintana, like those guys. They're not power arms, but they've been neutralizing power bats and keeping them off balance. So I think they're going to be the difference here. They've got Jose. I mean, they've got Luis Severino, power arm, right? Um, but I do think the Mets are on a magical run. And I don't think that run is over yet. I really don't. And despite all the spending, that game one starter for the Dodgers, Crawford, I'm guessing it's probably going to be Bueller or Flaherty. Well, I don't know. It's tomorrow. Let's see. Let's see if it's up. It's not going to be Yamamoto. They're probably only going to see Yamamoto in game 3 or 4. So, because he just pitched yesterday. Now let's pull this up here. Let's see. Is anything out yet? Mets, Dodgers. Yeah. Kodai Senga versus Jack Flaherty tomorrow in game 1. Yep. Kodai Senga versus Jack Flaherty. Yep. Yankees pitching matchup has not been put out yet. But I have a feeling it's going to be Clark Schmidt, I think it's going to be Clark Schmidt. And the Yankees have the best road record in baseball, too, in the major leagues this year. So if the Yankees somehow figure out a way to win both these games at home, which is not going to be easy, but if they do, they're going to have a huge advantage on the road in Cleveland because they get the next 3 games in Cleveland. Well, I think in Cleveland is no pushover. They are no pushover. But I know some people don't want to see a Subway series because it's not as sexy in terms of global appeal as the Dodgers. But to your point too, Ty, yeah, the Mets beat us up this year. But this is a different Yankee team now. This is a healthy Yankee team and a hungry Yankee team. And honestly, I think the Yankees have a chip on their shoulder now. For all those people around, pegged them as a 4th place team, a 5th place team. They've been defying the odds. Defying the odds every step of the way. So can't stay up during the week for late games. That's all the reason to have a Subway series, right, John? Instead of that West Coast stuff, right? Yeah. Yeah, I saw that too. Shoved the win. Yeah, Mahomes was going after his former teammate the other day, who was a Yankees fan in one of those boxes up there. I saw that too. Yeah, the Mets swept us, but that's regular season. Regular season is not the playoffs. So, right? So, well, the Mets Dodgers could go 7 games. They really could, and I hope it does because I hope they wear out as many arms as they can. So I'm with you there, Ty. But that's my prediction: Yankees Mets World Series. I think it's going to be, as an impactful series, a very meaningful series for baseball. I really, really do, and I think the Mets Yankees World Series would mean a lot more than the Yankees Dodgers World Series. So, yeah. Casey was pissed at Jazz because I think after game 2 and they won, he said, we feel like they got lucky. We feel like we're better. We're going to beat them this series. So that's it. But, this stuff gets blown out of proportion a lot. So, and I do. And the Yankees have also been, to your point too, the Yankees have been damn good against the Guardians in the postseason as well. So if the Yankees win it all, man, that would be phenomenal. Tonight's not an open panel. Tonight's phenomenal. I mean, to win the World Series would be phenomenal. So, I think they make Weaver. Do I think they make Weaver for closer date? And yeah, I think he'll be a closer next year. I mean, the only way I can see him not being closer is if they sign Tanner Scott. But even that's Tanner Scott could set up Weaver. Just because they would sign Tanner Scott doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a closer. So, yeah, Dodgers are a better team on paper, a deeper team, but the Mets are hotter. The Mets have just everything going for them right now. The aura, the energy, the clutch hitting, everything. So, and I don't think their run is over yet. I just don't. Yeah, seriously, Bob Costas has been a disaster calling these games. It really has. Do I think Cole opt out? Yeah, probably, but that's just procedural. The Yankees will avoid the opt out by adding him, adding the extra year to his contract. I hear you, Jonathan, man. It's all good. Yeah, I wanted to keep with the predictions. I wanted to give that today. So I'm not sure who's calling them yet, McMahon. That's a good question. I'm not sure. And I'm hoping that the Mets run out of steam, Sean Browning. I really hope so. Because I think the Yankees are on the upswing right now. I think they're going to get hotter each round if they continue to play. The Mets have been firing on all cylinders right now, and the Dodgers too. And the Yankees have not, and I think that's an edge for the Yankees. So, in how many games? I think this is going to go 5 or 6 games, Alex. I think it's going to go 5 or 6, and like the Mets Dodgers, I think it's going to go 6 or 7. But I'll take 5, Crawford. I'll take 5, and this is the key, right, Sean? Judge. We need Judge to go off. We need him to have an impactful series. We need Stanton to continue to produce. And I think if we get Soto displaying a little bit more of that power and hitting them doubles and hitting them stuff into the gaps, I think that's going to be those three start rocking and rolling at the same time. Oh boy, when those guys are rolling together, this Yankee team is unstoppable. I mean, it really, really is. So, and again, this is exciting. I mean, we are down to the final 4. LCS MVP predictions. I'm going to say Aaron Judge. Ty. I'm going to say Aaron Judge. Predicted the Yankees play solid defense and hit runners. Yeah. Well, they're going to have to hit. They're going to have to hit runners in scoring position. No doubt about it. Torres and Volpe. Okay. I mean, look, those guys have been impactful. They've been important parts of this playoff run right now. They have. So much as I want Judge to be hot and Soto and Stanton, we need Torres, we need Volpe, we need Jazz, we need Verdugo, we need these guys, Austin Wells, right? We need them to produce. So, yeah, 4-1 wink. All right, I'll take 4-1. I'll take 4-1. Maz is saying 4 train saying Soto gets the LCS MVP. All right, I'll take that too. Yeah, the problem with the Tigers is the Guardians were relentless. They were relentless. Tigers had some good pitching even beyond Tarek Skubal, but the Guardians were just a little bit of a deeper team, and the Tigers did trade away Jack Flaherty. So they did. Had they not traded away Jack Flaherty, maybe that would have made a difference. But we don't know yet. Now we don't know. New York attitude with I saw that with Volpe. I saw that. Good for Anthony Volpe. Yeah, damn right. Yankees on it. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I didn't think the Central was going to have 3 playoff teams this year. I thought the East was, but Central did. So Yankees winning 5. Talbot, okay. You're getting the Mets in 7. Wink, all right. I'll take that. And we need the Bronx to be as electric as Queens. There's no doubt about that. No doubt. Yeah, I heard it. I think it's Alex Cobb 2 starts game 1. I think it's probably going to be against Clark Schmidt. But we'll see. The Yankees pitching matchup has not been put out yet. So Yankees in 5 and Dodgers in 7, or Mets in 7. I'll take that. All right. I'm scared of the Dodgers pitching. They look like, well, they're John Beagle. Their starting pitching is not stacked. Their bullpen is, and they've been deploying their bullpen a lot. I mean, they're out. Like I said, the Dodgers if they had Tyler Glasnow here and Kershaw and some of these other guys pitching, because they're all injured, they're all out. I would have given the edge to the Dodgers without a doubt. But I think the Mets are going to have the edge here. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they do, Ty. It might be Rodon game 1 and Schmidt game 2 and Cole game 3. I have no idea. I don't know. But we know we're also hearing Cole's going to pitch game 2, so it could be Rodon 1, Cole 2, Schmidt 3, and then they can go Hill 4. Right, so we'll see. Happy early birthday to Crawford Experience. She just surprised you off, dude. That's fantastic. Happy early birthday. Aiden, I think Jazz has a good chance of moving to second base next year. Yeah. Rodon, Schmidt, Hill. Well, I think Schmidt will be in there again. I think Hill might be the other guy. It depends on if Nestor Cortez gets added to this rotation, added to the roster, I should say. I don't know. Yamamoto did look good. Yeah, but it looks like the Padres peaked too. So, but yeah, he threw 5 shutouts. So he got hit hard the first game, but he rebounded and threw 5 shutout today or yesterday. Um, but Yamamoto and Flaherty and Walker Buehler is not going to be enough. I don't think. Again, not against the Mets. I don't think it's going to be enough against the Mets. I'm not taking Volpe off shortstop for Willie Adames. I think Adames is going to sign in the National League East. No, I don't think Rizzo's going to come back. In all honesty, Nestor I could see coming back. You could be right. Dominguez might not make the roster, but if I'm going to take one of the word life from, if I'm going to take one of the kids off the roster, it's probably going to be Ben Rice instead of Dominguez. I think Dominguez adds an element of speed in the outfield that, Rice is right now, he's blocked by John Birdie and Oswaldo Cabrera. So it's almost like a wasted roster spot. But we'll see, you know? Yeah, man. Joe, yeah, Subway Series would be awesome for the city. The city needs it, man. And dude, the Mets fans have been deprived for almost 40 years. I mean, I know they were in the World Series against the Royals in 2014, which they lost, but Ken, what do you know, my man? So that's my breakdown and my prediction. That's my prediction and breakdown. So Consigliere's here. Here he is. 2015. All right, Jonathan. That's right. 2015. No, the Royals lost in 2014 against the Giants then, right? Then they won against the Mets in 2015. Okay, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Real life. I think they're going to add another arm here. Hill, about a week, maybe 10 days. Yeah. Yeah, if the Dodgers have to figure out a way to neutralize Alonso and Lindor. So Hill is Hill. We'll see. Could be. It could be Hill. All right, 45 likes. All right. Hill could be the starter for game 1 and Colby game 2, and they could be Schmidt and Rodon for 3 and 4. It could be. Well, and that way you'd have Cole back here for probably game 6 back at home. So they are debating going 12 or 13. I mean, they're on 11 pitchers right now. 11. So, and I think they're still figuring out if Nestor Cortez is going to be okay to make the pitching roster, right? If not him, it's probably going to be Marcus Stroman or Mark Leiter Jr. That'd be my guess. And I'm with you, and I think sitting Ben Rice makes the most sense. I would keep Duke Ellis here for the speed, and Ben Rice, I would take Ben Rice off the postseason roster. That's what I would do. Yeah, and again, Nestor can give us innings. And even Cody Poteet is another one. Yeah, Cody. If they did too, then I mean it could be Rice and let's just say it's Duke Ellis. In which case it would make it easy to use Jason Dominguez, right? And then you can give Poteet and Nestor Cortez. So, yeah, have a great night, Jonathan. Man, have a great night. I'll wrap this up in a second, too. So I just wanted to see what you thought about the breakdowns and the predictions. Okay, but those are my predictions again. Mets, Yankees going to the World Series. Mets, Yankees. The Mets run into they could very well run into a Dodgers buzzsaw on the man. The Dodgers can run into the Mets chainsaw. I don't know. You know, the Mets look damn good, man. They look damn good. They really, really do. And there was, yeah, that's the thing too. Like, see, the healthy enough to go is one thing, you know, and but being able to turn around on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball is another thing, right? Live batting practice is one thing, but can you turn around on a Clase? Can you turn around on Baby? Like, can you turn around on these guys? I don't know, but I agree with you, Concilio. The Dodgers did pick up momentum beating the Padres in that last game, and Teoscar's heating up. He can't like these guys, underrated guys. But yeah, I did see Freeman is kind of gimpy, so we'll see how Freeman does here. But I mean, they're lucky that they have Teoscar Hernandez heating up. They're lucky there. Kitty humps. You think they're gonna rig it? Oh boy. Yeah, I mean the Mets are playing like a team. Just they're possessed right now. They're hungry. They're really hungry. Their chemistry is magical, and you know. But we'll see if they peaked. Or if the Dodgers have peaked. I don't know. The Padres peaked this last round, and then the Dodgers capitalized on that. So I'm loving the dumpster dive Yankees too, right, NFA? Damn right. Yep. All those dumpster dive moves that the Yankees have made that the fans have been so critical of, like Luke Weaver. Yep. Yeah. With the worst manager and GM in baseball, right? Hmm. Yeah, this again, like I'm agree with you, Mazza, for train. Like this is a special Yankees team, just like that special. There's a special team in Queens too, which is another reason why I have these guys just colliding with each other in the World Series. I think it's what it should. It won't be again have enough as the global appeal as the Yankees Dodgers would. To Ken, that was an excellent point that Ken made the other day. But this will be a more impactful series, I think. Mets Yankees. Yeah, and then we got add Ian Hamilton to that. Add Tim Hill. I add these other guys to it too, right? And so, yeah, we just need some of the other Yankees bats to show up as well. Otani's not pitching, no. Otani's definitely not pitching. But it's payback time for the Yankees, right? So, yeah, this is it, guys. Our Final Four is here. The best teams in baseball: the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Guardians. This is it. This is it. So Wells and Jazz. I mean, I think Jazz needs to quiet down with his mouth and open up, be louder with his bat. I think we need more production from Wells too. I'm with you there too, NFE. Yeah, talk less, play more, Jazz, please. Time to get Cashman another ring, yeah, and this will be his 6th ring. If they win this year, it will be his 6th ring. Yeah. Time to get Judge a ring and Cole a ring too, Aiden. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, Ty. That's what I'm talking about. Like they're winning these series when their bats not firing on all cylinders. And if these bats firing on all cylinders, you see how good they are when Soto is rocking and Judge is rocking and Stanton's rocking. Some of those guys are rocking. They're like unbeatable. So, and I think that they're trending in that direction right now. Yeah, Teoscar is definitely going to get paid this offseason, Robert, no doubt. Yep. Oh yeah. You don't Mazatán, my friend. How are you? Let's go freaking Yankees is right. Shalom. Yeah, that's right. Shalom, But that's it, gang. That's my predictions. Yankees, Mets. Let's freaking go. So have a great night, everybody. Peace and love to all of you. Hit the likes on the way out. And if anybody's in there that's not subscribed, please hit that sub button too. I greatly appreciate it. Appreciate you. Okay. The Yankee series could go 6 or 7, Richard. It could very well go 6 or 7. Both of these series can go 7, right? It's it could. It really, really could. So, but again, with another Randy Cashman would be consistent. Go, oh yeah, got that right. Yeah, and again, I'll be live after every game. So, NLCS starts tomorrow. ALCS starts Monday. So, get yourself ready. Buckle up. All right, and have a great night, everybody. Peace and love to all of you, and we'll see you tomorrow.